Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today our case takes us to Vallejo, California, where a missing persons case turned into a homicide investigation, which is really devastating, and today would have been the victim's 29th birthday. That is unthinkable. So we're going to go over, of course, a timeline as we do. You know, if you're brand new here, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not new and you've been here for a while, thank you as well. And let me first show you a clip just so we can get an overview. And I want to show you Shame, the victim's mother. And then we'll go over a presentation. And by the end of this live stream, you should know what we know so far about this case. I hope that there will be full justice for Renia Lewis. So check this clip out here. This is the victim's mother, Terry.
What did she do to you for you to kill her and then put her in a wall? When he said, "We found your daughter," I just collapsed. I was like, I can't believe this. And I was praying. I said, God, please don't let it be her. Please don't let it be her. And he did not answer my prayer.
It was the news no one in 28-year-old Renia Lewis's family wanted to hear. Police found her body behind a wall inside this home on 14th Street in Vallejo. Her mother last texted her on Friday and thought it was unusual not to get a response.
When they found her body behind the wall. They nailed her body behind the wall.
So, just so you know what you're signing up for, this case absolutely comes with a trigger warning. It does involve the murder and reportedly dismemberment of 28-year-old Renia Lewis. So we're going to go over that. I'll show you the map as well. Evelyn, thank you so much for your sticker. I do also want to point out that Renia's family, they were instrumental in helping to locate her body because they had the Life 360 app and they were telling the police this is where her phone last pinged, this is where she was last known to be, you got to check this site out. And the police actually did check the house out, and then, you know, from what they could, but then they got a search warrant, they went in and they eventually found Renia's remains. So I'm so proud of the family for working together so hard to make sure that Renia would be found.
Vallejo Police announced late Tuesday that they had arrested Douglas Shaw. It's still unclear what his relationship is to Renia or to the home.
The person that they have in custody is being cooperative. Stated that he did indeed kill Renia. He threw her phone on top of the school. That's the most information that I have.
Police now have Renia's phone, which her family says last pinged at this address. Her mother used the Life 360 app to track her final location, and her cousin LaToya helped lead the family's search in the area.
Renia was the best loving person. That girl loved to cook. She loved her family.
Since they began sharing flyers with her mother's number, the family has received numerous prank calls, people pretending to be Renia, luring her mother to false addresses and demanding money.
I am devastated.
What? Like, why do people do that? In almost every case, there's always some prank caller. I wish there would be criminal charges for them as well. You know? Like, the families are distraught. They're looking for their loved one. It's a missing person. And then there's prank calls saying, oh, I know where she is. And it's probably with obviously the motive for money. But what in the hell?
Devastated. That's my youngest daughter. Her birthday is on Monday. She would have been 29.
That's today, you guys. Renia would have turned 29 today. So let me tell you about her and about this case. Please like and share so others can also learn about this case. And thank you to everyone who emailed this to me as well. If there's family and friends watching, I hope that you feel safe here in this community. That is the intention, that you feel supported and loved and know that we've got your back as the wheels of justice turn sometimes slowly, but they turn, and we'll be watching. I really hope that this guy who has apparently confessed to killing Renia. Yeah, okay. And how is he going to plead? Because he's going to be in court on October 9th next. The time of this recording, it's October 6th of 2025 today. Is it already? Oh my goodness, yes it is. And yeah, so on October 9th, he'll be back for his formal arraignment, right? Sarcasm said, this is the first channel I ever became a member of. Thank you so much, G, for covering all of these cases and being a voice for who no longer have theirs. Thank you so much, and thanks for being a member for 10 months. So Renia Lewis was a 28-year-old woman from the Berkeley, California area, known to her family and friends as a vibrant, independent, and family-oriented individual who loved cooking and cherished her close-knit relationships. She was described by relatives as a grown woman who made her own choices and a fighter. They also say resilient. So she sounded very strong, who was deeply loved by her family. She was just days away from celebrating her 29th birthday when she was last seen, and her 29th birthday would have been today, so a very painful day for her family. Friday, September 26th. Renia Lewis was last seen alive on the evening of Friday, September 26th of 2025 at around 10 p.m. near 14th Street and Star Avenue in Vallejo, California, where she'd been visiting family over the weekend. So I'm not too sure how close the family lives compared to the house where her body was found. I'm not too sure if she was like walking home or if there's lots of questions that I'm sure you will all have still, as it's early in the investigation. An arrest has been made, thank goodness, and the guy has confessed to killing Renia, but there's still a lot of unknowns. Anyway, so it was at this house where her phone on the Life 360 app had last shown she was. She had been in communication with her mother via phone that day, but when she failed to respond by Sunday, September 28th, her family grew alarmed and officially reported her missing to the Vallejo Police Department, VPD. They could see where her phone was lost, and it was at this house on the Life 360 app. And they looked at this house, and they said it's quite an eyesore in the community. It's like a boarded up house, kind of like an abandoned house. And there's this, like a detached, almost like a granny flat, like a house in the backyard, and apparently the suspect lived in it. But inside the house, what it's been described as is, in reports, a hoarder's house. They say it's just full of stuff. It's uninhabitable. And Renia's family said she wouldn't have willingly gone in there. So they're not sure of the circumstances of how she was taken into the house. One of her cousins said maybe drugged, or they just don't know, but it's just terrible to think of, right? So VPD conducted a welfare check at the property on Sunday, September 28th. They searched rooms, closets, and obvious hiding spots, but they found no trace of Renia. The urgency then escalated on Monday, September 29th, when the California Highway Patrol then issued an Ebony Alert, which is a public safety notification for missing persons of color, at VPD's request. And the FBI also provided investigative support. So that's always helpful to know. When the FBI is involved, they can then look at cell phone tower dumps, phone pings, the digital forensic evidence and all of that. Family and friends combed through the neighborhood. They even checked garbage cans and nearby areas, desperate for clues, which that in itself must be such a traumatizing experience, to be, looking for someone everywhere you can think of, and knowing her phone last pinged there, and eventually having to check garbage cans. Shame, man. So yeah, the missing persons flyer went out, and they said, please help, and the numbers were shared as well. Now, the Vallejo Police Department said an Ebony Alert has been activated. They said, if you see Renia Lewis or have any information about her whereabouts, please contact the Vallejo Police Department Detective Division, and they gave a number. Missing person alert at risk. The Vallejo Police Department is investigating the disappearance of Renia Lewis, they said. Last seen approximately 9 p.m. In reports, they now say 10, so somewhere between 9 and 10 p.m. On Friday, September 26th of 2025. She's just 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighs around 135 pounds. If anyone has seen Lewis or knows her whereabouts, please call the Vallejo Police Department Detective Division, and they also gave an emergency number. Okay. SB said, I never knew there was an Ebony Alert. Yeah, we've covered cases with Ebony Alerts before. And yeah, if you didn't know, it's one of the alerts that does exist as well. Now on Tuesday, September 30th, armed with a search warrant and fresh tips, VPD returned to the home where they knew, and remember they had the FBI's help, but they knew, okay, this is where her phone last pinged. This is where the Life 360 app said she was, like at this house or in this house. There's something about this house, and the house itself is a giant red flag in the community, as I say, with, you know, boarded up windows apparently in some places, and just a mess, just a complete, almost abandoned looking mess. So yeah, they went in with a search warrant. They said behind a secret false wall in the cluttered house, described as a concealed entryway to the attic, they discovered Renia's dismembered remains. That is shocking. And I wonder then, did they have the K9 units in there? Probably, right? Because otherwise, how would they know to discover the secret false wall? It makes me worry though, like it's giving me almost like John Wayne Gacy vibes, you know, of hiding. The person is allegedly, you know, hiding body parts in a wall, in like secret little compartments. That would make me think they have to tear the whole house down to see if there's other bodies hidden in compartments, you know? It's just where my mind goes. So yeah, behind the secret false wall. Now there were reportedly signs of a struggle. They're saying it was like shattered windows and, you know, just evidence that Renia had been there. So we don't know too much yet, but they suggested that Renia fought for her life. So shame. And as I say, her family described her as a fighter, as strong, as resilient, as independent. So this is very sad. Now, 2 days later, investigators returned, as I said, with a search warrant to more thoroughly comb the property. During that search, police said they found a concealed entry into the attic. Inside the space, police said they stumbled onto Lewis's remains. Now, the family and friends had walked around this entire neighborhood knowing her phone lost was there, and they'd put all these missing person flyers, you know, as you could see here. And whoa, like shame, the poster's right here. Here's the flyer, and her body was in that house right there. Her mother, Terry Lewis, collapsed when she was told that her daughter's body had been found. We just saw a clip of her mother speaking as well, where she said that. Not that Mickey, thank you so much for the South African rands. If you guys didn't know, I am South African. It's just always nice to see like hometown money, you know? It's just so cute, like the sticker ZAR. I'm always just smile. Thank you so much, Not That Mickey. Just know I appreciate everyone's stickers. I'm just always like, that's from home. You know, so, okay, so this... To think they were so close and they knew it. It's, you know, when we say trust your gut, the family was like, there's something with this house. You got to search this house. To the police, here's where her phone loss was. You got to look in the house. And to think that they actually initially looked in the house and said, oh, they didn't find anything. And they had to go back. And then they found the worst, the most nightmarish discovery. So, yeah. Okay. Georgia Dobertine, thank you so much for your sticker. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. So, Douglas Irwin Shaw is the suspect. 41 years old, a Vallejo resident, and a mechanic at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom theme park. You worked around children? You worked in a roller coaster? You know, like a theme park? Anyway, I'm just saying, like, damn, in plain sight, you know, this guy was a mechanic at the Six Flags Discovery theme park, and he was identified as the prime suspect. He lived in the detached unit where the body was found. And he's the father of 2 young daughters? I don't know, man. Nothing should shock me anymore, but I'm always like, what? Do like a double take. What do you mean? What do you mean that this guy's a dad? And he's accused of doing what now? Like dismembering a woman. Okay, accused of, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. He also has a documented history of concerning behavior. Oh, so he worked at Six Flags and he himself was, 6 or more red flags. So concerning behavior, in 2023, a former girlfriend that he met at Six Flags obtained a restraining order against him, describing him as a narcissist with controlling tendencies who believed that everyone else was wrong. Her father corroborated this, calling him manipulative. So those are some red flags, but damn, I'm sure even they shocked, you know, that of what he is now accused of being capable of. Stefan says, and his daughters lived in that mess too? I don't think so. I'm not, as I say, there's more information that will come out. This will be our first conversation about this case, but I don't know where the daughters live. They just say he is the father of 2 young daughters. I hope they're with their mother, wherever their mother is. Whoa, because that sounds scary. Right? Okay. So, authorities arrested Douglas Shaw at his workplace. Oh, he was arrested at the theme park, damn. On Tuesday, September 30th, they said without incident. During questioning, he confessed to murdering Renia. He was booked into the Solano County Jail without bail. Yeah, we like to see without bail, no bail, please. On suspicion of murder. A murder weapon has not been made public, except they say they do cite later. There's articles. I don't have the documents yet. Grizzly Cat and I are working on getting documents in this case. In California, especially, it takes time. But there are articles quoting charging documents, and they actually say a knife was used and that the victim was stabbed. So while it's not been made quite public, there's just that's out there a little bit, right? And they said family and police have stated that Renia and Douglas were not in a romantic relationship, and they likely met only recently, possibly through casual, social, or work-related circles. They actually don't know if they knew each other or how they knew each other or anything, but they definitely weren't like dating or something. That's what they're saying. The suspect, Douglas Irwin Shaw, 41, look at him, my word, was arrested at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, where he was an employee. Following his arrest, Douglas Shaw provided a statement to detectives where he admitted being responsible for this heinous crime, police said. He's facing 1 count of murder and was denied bail in a court hearing last week. Family members told KTVU they do not know of any connections between Lewis and Shaw or the residents on 14th Street. Whoa. Like, he definitely does look quite the mess, eh? Okay. So then, let's just quickly see. On Thursday, October 2nd, Douglas Irwin Shaw, 41, was formally charged with 1 count of felony murder, California Penal Code Section 187, by the Solano County District Attorney's Office, which I think would have a sentence of 15 to life if convicted. Charging documents revealed that he stabbed Renia. That's now, my sources are all linked in the description box. That's from articles that I've read. He is due back in court on October 9th to be formally arraigned and to plead. How will he plead? Probably not guilty based on what an attorney would tell him to plead, right? That's what happens even if they confess. I'll just say again, when they confess, I wish they would just plead guilty, tell everything, and spare the family this long road to justice, and then all the horrific details that come out, of course, at a trial. I know we would want to watch a trial, but I just feel for the families, you know. The investigation is ongoing, with VPD urging tips, and you can contact any of these emails or contact numbers. If you heard anything and you saw something and you haven't yet said something, please do. Even if you feel like, nah, it's just something so small, just tell them anyway. It might help build their case. It might really help crack the case open, like to figure out more. Maybe maybe you've encountered this guy. That could be helpful too, right? So if you know something, please say something. Or if you heard something or saw something, all of that, right? You can contact these numbers over here. Renia's family and friends eventually found her phone on the roof of a nearby school. That is also so odd of him to be like, oh, and chuck her phone on the roof of a school. Okay, but her phone last pinged, the Life 360 app, and they worded as last pinged, which I guess would be FBI's involvement at that house. So I wonder, her family said they found her phone on the roof. I wonder how they found that. I wonder if it was like a drone that was used or what. But either way, what the hell was he thinking? She was concealed in a space that led to the attic, said Vallejo Police Sergeant Rashad Hollis. He also said this was a horrific crime. Not only did this bring pain to the family, it brought pain to the community. Yeah, I can only imagine. So I'll quickly show you this clip, and then I'll also show you the map. Oh, sorry, not that. We've done the presentation. This
location was here, and her last location pinged right here, but we still looked in the area. We looked in garbage cans. We looked everywhere.
Jakeem Green says his family's been looking for his cousin, Renia Lewis, since she was reported missing on Sunday. On Tuesday came news that her body was found at this house.
The reaction is just distraught. I was distraught, confused, lost, hopeless.
Neighbors say the house has been boarded up for a long time. Police say the suspect lived in a detached unit in the backyard.
With a search warrant, we were able to do a thorough search, and we located Miss Lewis inside the residence.
In a statement to ABC 7 News, the Vallejo Police Department confirmed that the suspect did confess to killing Miss Lewis. Lewis's body was found behind a concealed entry to the home's attic. Family members believe she was brought here against her will.
If she was to see the house, she's not going to come in. She's not going to do that. So I feel like she was either drugged or under some type of influence or something.
Green says Lewis was in Vallejo on Sunday to visit family. They still don't know how she ended up at this house, and they say she did not know the suspect.
I feel like she got her conscience back, and she was fighting for her life. Okay. Windows were busted. She was trying to get away and escape.
It's really sad, and it's really scary for a lot of these young ladies out here on the streets of Vallejo. Vallejo's a small community, so it really shook the whole community up.
All day, nearby residents came by to pay their respects.
I wouldn't want to find my daughter like that. You know, we all have children in this world, whether they're grown or little. As a parent, you wouldn't want to find your children like that. So I feel more for the family, the mother, her loss.
The suspect
is
expected to be in court.
Okay, then the clip just ends. He's going to be in court again on October 9th of 2025. And then I'll put a pinned comment just to let you know how did he plead. I can guess it's going to be not guilty, right? Okay, so let's quickly... There's not too much to show you, but I will quickly show you the map. Okay, and we are back. So let's quickly bring up the map here. So they talk about Star Avenue and 14th Street. This is all public information. I'm not sharing anything that I'm not supposed to be sharing. This is a YouTube disclaimer. I'm not doxing anyone. It's very public information that the police has shared. The media's been there as well. So I'm just going to drive around the general area. Weird Debbie M said, thank you, Grizzly. Thank you so much, Debbie, for your support. Okay, so if you look, here's Star Avenue. And here's 14th Street, and that's where they say it was in this area at a house where her body was found. And the media has shared lots and lots of pictures of the house, right? If you look here as well, this seems to be a school, right? Because it says also as well here, Vallejo City Unified School District, and the phone was on the roof of a school. So he threw the phone up there. Thankfully, her family found it. So if I just, let's put us over here. I just want to see which way to go again. Stefan, are you telling them to buckle up? I'm driving now. Okay, let's just quickly see. This is 14th Street. Yeah. Okay, so if we drive along 14th Street here, okay, let's look around. You see everything looking fine. And then here you could see, it really does stand out, this house here. Look at everyone's neat gardens and the house, and then you got this. You have whatever, this looks so scary in the context of what we now know likely happening there. They're saying Renia, the victim, was stabbed, that her body was dismembered. That's what's being reported. And then stuffed inside the walls, like, of the house in a concealed entryway to the attic. So just seeing even just this is so scary to think of, you know, what the victim experienced that night. Because it was between 9 and 10 p.m. the night that she was last seen, right? Nicole, thanks for being a member for 7 months. You said, thank you for top tier true crime. Thank you so much. So yeah, I just wanted to have a look around and see what is going on here. And if I now were to zoom out here quickly, it's around here, right? Then I think the detached building he lived in was likely this. And then you can see, well, here's a roof, which I think is of the school. So it wouldn't be the longest throw, you know what I mean, to throw the phone onto the roof, just to chuck it, which is just so sad, my goodness. So yeah, that's where that is. So when they reported, it's between Star and 14th Avenue, where her remains were found in that house, right? Okay. Gerda says, I see you lost your South African driving skills. Listen here. Was I not driving well, Gerda? I thought I was driving quite well. Yeah, so that's, yeah, just look at it, my goodness. it does remind me, someone said earlier, it reminds them a little bit of the Sade Robinson case and Maxwell Anderson. It does a little bit, hey, it does a little bit. Okay, I mean, yeah, his house, sure. We saw that trial together. If you haven't seen it, you can check that out on the playlist. So that's all I have to show you there. Now, what I can do here is I quickly want to read you what the police said, just as the overview of their statements, so that you have that full information as well. For immediate release, this was on September 30th, 2025. Media Inquiries Sergeant Rashad Hollis, Public Information Officer. It says Vallejo, California. On September 28th of 2025, the Vallejo Police Department received a report about a missing 28-year-old African-American female whose whereabouts were unknown. Officers contacted the reporting party and completed a missing persons report. Officers then entered her information into the law enforcement missing persons database, while multiple VPD officers were assigned to search for the missing woman. That same day, the patrol division's investigation led officers to a home in the unit block of 14th Street in Vallejo. There were indications that the missing woman may have been inside the residence at some point before going missing. So I don't know what exactly they found, but it might be items of clothing, jewelry, things like that. We just don't know, right? Sea Crushed Emerald says, I wonder if neighbors heard or saw anything. I do wonder as well. If they did, I would hope they told the police about it, right? So that same day, the patrol division's investigation, yes, we said they led officers to the home, right? There were indications that the missing woman may have been inside the residence at some point before going missing. Officers entered the residence to conduct a welfare check and a cursory search of all rooms, closets, and places a person could hide, but found no signs of the missing woman. The Vallejo Police Department Detective Division was called out that afternoon and took over the investigation. On September 29th of 2025, although she did not meet the requirements for the California statewide Ebony Alert program, the VPD's community engagement team requested that an Ebony Alert be activated for her, which the California Highway Patrol approved. Additionally, the Vallejo Police Department sought assistance from the FBI. The FBI was helpful in lending expert resources and investigative support to this case. On September 30th of 2025, the Detectives Division's investigation led them back to the residence in the unit block of 14th Street. Based on new investigative information, detectives were granted a search warrant to thoroughly search the residence. During this search, they discovered a concealed entry into the attic. Officers searched the attic and located the remains of a deceased female inside that is suspected of being the missing woman. They obtained additional information that identified Douglas Irwin Shaw, a 41-year-old and resident of Vallejo, as the suspect in the death of the female, and he was subsequently arrested at his place of employment by the Problem-Oriented Policing, POP, team officers without incident. Lisa says, sorry, I've been replay crew for a while, but still loving G and the GTC crew. Never be sorry. If you are replay crew, that is such a great source of support. Even if you guys are watching live with me, and if you ever think, what could I do today while I clean the house? Pop on some previous trials that I've covered, playlists, anything like that. It really is a great source of support. Deborah McGee, thank you so much for your sticker. I really appreciate it. So the Neighborhood Impact Team responded, providing trauma-informed outreach and connecting affected residents with critical support resources. Following his arrest, Douglas Shaw provided a statement to detectives where he admitted being responsible for this heinous crime. Shaw was subsequently booked into the Solano County Jail for murder. The victim has been identified as Renia Lewis, a 28-year-old Vallejo resident. This was a heartbreaking, senseless act of violence that has no place in our community. I am proud of our officers and detectives for making an arrest and solving this case. Above all, our thoughts are with the decedent's family during this incredibly difficult time, said Chief Jason Tarr. Anyone with information is urged to contact these email addresses or numbers that you can see on the screen. They also said that this incident marks the 14th homicide in Vallejo for the year 2025. There's for media inquiries, you can contact the PIO there as well. Lorraine says, thank you, G, and amazing mods for all you do. Could not watch or listen to any of this without the Grizzly family. Thank you so much. I agree, Lorraine. It's never the same without us all being together, right? So thank you so much. Okay. Let's quickly have a look what you guys are saying. All right, I've still got a clip or two to show you. Let's have a look at this one.
People from Vallejo and beyond continue to drop off flowers, candles, and balloons in front of the home where Renia Lewis was found dead. Many telling me the tragedy has shaken up the community. Bruce Kimball has lived on 14th Street in Vallejo for a decade. His block turned into a major police scene Tuesday.
It was blocked off from here to there.
After investigators found the body of Renia Lewis inside this home.
I was in shock myself to find out living that close to someone that would even do like something like this.
Lewis was reported missing Friday. A missing persons flyer remains taped on the light pole across the street from the home where the 28-year-old was found dead. Family and friends spent days searching this area.
Being on the side of the freeway, behind the school, by the house, if we didn't care for her. Yeah. She was very loved.
Police say they did a welfare check at the home Sunday and searched all rooms and closets, but found nothing. On Monday, the California Highway Patrol activated an Ebony Alert, and the FBI also provided resources for the case. Investigators served a search warrant at the house Tuesday.
Went back to the house with the search warrant. They discovered there was a concealed department that led to the attic, and in the attic we discovered Miss Lewis.
So the police are saying that you could just hear a slight discrepancy, like they say she was, family and reporters have been saying she was found in the walls in this concealed area, but it sounds like a concealed entryway to the attic and that her body was found in the attic from what I'm understanding. But reportedly dismembered. I mean, what a horrifying discovery as well, and I do wonder, has he ever done this before? He's 41 years old, the suspect. What else has he done in his life, right?
Police arrested 41-year-old Douglas Shaw on a murder charge.
He was Mirandized and admitted that he is responsible for this heinous crime.
The quick arrest has given family members some hope that justice will be served.
Yeah, I am glad to hear that. We got to let the cops do their job and pray that everything plays out like it's supposed to.
The word out on justice for my sister. I just want everybody to know that we love her.
Meanwhile, people continue to add to a growing memorial outside the home to honor the life taken.
It's just sad. This is a young lady.
Shaw is scheduled to make his first court appearance Thursday. There are still a lot of questions that remain in this case, including the motive behind the killing. Police
why?
Say their investigation is very much ongoing, so if you have any information, you're asked to call Vallejo Police.
Which all the numbers will be in the description box below as well. Okay, we've got this one other clip here quickly.
This was Shaw's first court appearance since he was arrested Tuesday at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, where he worked. Shaw, represented by a public defender, said very few words during the hearing. He's facing one count of felony murder for the death of 28-year-old Renia Lewis. Her family now calling for the maximum punishment.
My hope for him is that he get the death penalty.
Lewis's family tracked her phone to a home in Vallejo after they stopped hearing from her, and that's where police found her body. They say they're still trying to process the fact that she's gone.
Well, at this point, our family is under grievance. We are devastated at this time, and we just ask the public, we ask every person to please keep our family in prayer.
Lewis was just days away from her 29th birthday, her family describing her as a loving person.
Renia is a sweet young lady. It's a lot. And when it comes to our family, everyone knows. What I want you guys to know is Renia was a queen. That's who she was.
And the other message from that family was how united they were. You could see just how many people were there, and that was the message that they wanted to get out. Now, as for Shaw, the judge did set no bail for him, and he is expected to be back in court next Thursday.
Okay, so we've got all of that. I'm going to link all the sources for you in the description box, as well as the family's GoFundMe that they've set up. And they said, with broken hearts, we share the devastating loss of our beloved Renia Lewis, whose life was tragically and gruesomely taken from us. Words cannot capture the pain our family is experiencing as we try to process this unimaginable tragedy. Renia was a beautiful soul, full of love, laughter, and light. She touched everyone she met and leaves behind memories that will forever be cherished. As our family grieves, we have also faced unexpected financial hardship. Many of us have taken time away from work to come together, support one another, and prepare to honor Renia's life. This GoFundMe has been created to help relieve some of that burden so we can focus on grieving, healing, and seeking justice for Renia. So they say your donations will go directly toward household and living expenses while family members are out of work, and support for Renia's immediate family during this painful journey. So I'll link this as well. I have already linked it for you. It's organized by Ruth Lewis. So this, and they've also got some photos here of Renia with her family as well. So shame, man. What a devastating loss, and so close to her 29th birthday. Today would have been Renia's 29th birthday. Oh, that's so sad. And instead, her family has to, plan her funeral. 29. She had a whole life ahead of her. And no one knows why. The suspect, even though he confessed to doing it, he's not saying why, or we don't know why. The police obviously have to keep a lot close to the vest. But I will definitely keep you posted. He's back in court on October 9th of 2025. We shall see if he pleads guilty. That'll be amazing. Do that. Okay, or not guilty. And what happens next? There will then be preliminary hearings, and we'll take it step by step as this goes to trial. I really hope that there will be full justice for Renia Lewis. This is an unthinkable, horrifying crime. And if there ever were any other victims, even for, I don't know how to word it, lesser crimes, you know what I mean? Then I hope that he will be held accountable as well. I hope that if there are any other victims, that they will feel safe to come forward and tell the police about whatever they experienced with him. So, thank you so much, everyone, for studying this case with me. I really appreciate it. Please leave some kind comments for the family and friends of Renia Lewis. Oftentimes, family and friends do watch, even if they don't chat live with us. They do watch, and I would then hear from them on email usually. If they want to email, if anyone watching wants to email, my email address is grizzlytruecrime, grizzly like the bear, double Z, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com, and my website is grizzlytruecrime.com, where you can also see all the links and about me and all of that. So thank you, Mods. Thank you so much. If you are on Patreon, I do plan on showing you a video from what I was up to this weekend. I'll show you that tomorrow if you are on Patreon. And thank you also for being a member and just all the support that you guys give to the work that I do. I really appreciate it. So may there be justice for Renia. In the meantime, everyone, stay safe.